Senegal. Can you join us? And then we have our moderator to be Richard Osajiman. If you are here, please. Richard. Where is he? Still drinking coffee. Okay. I've always tried to be many parts. So I'll do this whilst we get him on board. Starts from the lady. Kanji, can you introduce yourself properly? Are you on the university side or associate?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Rokaya Kanji. I'm from Senegal. I'm the CEO of IFAGE. I'm just a member of the Senegalese Association. It's small. There are just 10 actuaries from France. They become a real association.
Maybe just a recap for a lot of people. My name is Mark Hineku. I work with the Actuarial Society. Basically support the association thriving. So yes, that's simple, right?
Okay, so we will have some short presentations, and then we'll come and do a few interviews. Can we have IFAGE? IFAGE is a French. Okay. Very soon I'll start speaking French. So can we have the slide for Kanji? For you.
Thank you, dear President. Slide, please. Okay. This afternoon, we are going to talk about the transition from education to practice, association, and university effort. So my first slide will be a small introduction about IFAGE. IFAGE has been created in 2008 and is the first private postgraduate institute specialized in actual science and insurance in the CIMA zone. Okay, currently we have more than 16 different nationalities in the school coming from Africa, Central Africa, and West Africa. And in 2018, we did some SOA exams for our students. It was a little bit challenging for them because in the French-speaking countries, actually students, they don't used to have or to take IFOA, SOA, and CAS exams. So it was an innovation for the university and innovation for people from Senegal. And we hope that we will be doing it for the others association maybe next year or this year. Next slide, please. In the school, we have master degrees. We also have bachelor degrees in insurance. We have online courses and also traditional currencies. We have actual science in bachelor and master. We have bachelor in accounting. We have the certificate of risk management preparation. We also have a certification for brokers in insurance. We have a master in data science, a master in financial analysis, and a new master program in administrating and financial management. It's gonna be a double degree diploma with a French course. We are going now about the main topic. In the school, we have a special service dedicated to welcome, orientation, and job placement in the school. So the role of the welcome, orientation, and job placement are to find internships for students. In IFAGE, we find internship for graduate and undergraduate students. We have different steps. The first one is that we used to share internship jobs opening through various communications platforms, the mailings, the WhatsApps, etc., in order to let the students apply themselves. The step two is that in the class, we draft motivation letter and CVs with students. So that help them to improve themselves, that help them to have good resume, and also to be well prepared during the job interviews. The step three is that IFAGE provide to all the students, undergraduate and graduate students, letter of motivation that they can use to apply for jobs, internship in insurance company or in the step four is that when the students start the entrepreneur, the internship in the company, we used to monitor them to see the way he behaves, if we have to give him some advices to be higher, of course. And the last one, as you can see, the step five is that as a quality manager, I used to evaluate all the programs. And if we are talking about evaluation, we have to evaluate the syllabus, evaluate the teachers, evaluate the students, the alumni, but also the students that are in the companies. So when we stand the students in the companies, after 2 months or 3 months, we send what we call evaluation sheet to the monitors or to the CEOs of the company to evaluate the students. And we use the feedbacks we have to improve our program or just to see how we can better advise the students. Now we're talking about the figures. Our professional rate is very high. You can see that from the opening of the school 2019, we have 100% of employment. Because of the partnership we got with all the insurance companies in Senegal. But from 2019 up to date, we have 95%. This percentage is due to the COVID-19 consequences, because insurance companies, bankers, they are a little bit afraid of having more staff, paying, etc. So that's why we are still, fighting. We are also trying to put pressure on them, but it's not easy to have internship for all the students. But now I think that they start again hiring people and asking
I can say that each week I have a call from a CEO or a call from a director of operation asking me for CVs. Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe because there is no more COVID. But now, yeah, there are, I mean, more open-minded than years before.
This slide is dedicated to the IFAJ internship process. For the students, the procedure established to boost their professional integration are, first of all, we're talking about the coaching seminars. As you can see, from the first year to the last year of master, we have coaching, personal development courses. As you know that actual science students are really shy, and we are trying to break the ice by giving them seminars, coachings about how to behave, how to do presentations, and how to work on projects. And also, sometimes we are doing some exercises to show them the way they have to behave when they are having job interviews. The second step is the recommendation letter. As I said, all the students have the recommendation. We are still talking about the process. This slide is dedicated to the action that we are doing to boost their professional integration. First of all, we have automatic issuance of recommendation letter. Second one, we have, every 6 months we send an annual internship demands to the company, and then also we share job opportunities on social media so they can apply by themselves. So once the company answers back to our demand, the next step is that we classify and dispatch the offers between the bachelor and the master students. And also we nominate the best students for internship. And the last step is that we follow the students and the graduates once they are in the insurance or the banking company. This slide will help me to talk about the cooperation with the insurer or the actuaries of the industry. The action we are doing first of all, we make partnership agreement, as I said, with the industry actors. The second thing is that we build tripartite internship. So I have special type of convention that has to be signed by the students, by the company, and the school. And with the tripartite agreements, the company can give something at the end of the month to the students, but it can also use tripartite to give it to the government. So they have a special allocation for the companies that hire students. So you can use this to also have others, things from the government. The third thing is that we organize sometimes job dating in the school for the companies who want to hire students directly. As I said, we're also sharing course application to the students. During what we call the final oral exam for the third year in bachelor and for the second year of master, all the students have to defend a project, or they have to defend or to argue on a special topics in front of the CEOs. So sometimes CEOs may identify good students with potential, and the week after they can hire them. It's also something that we can do to boost our job placement. I have also MOU sometimes with some companies. And this allows me to give them my best student database so they can try to have directly with them job interviews and also to hire directly from the school. We will talk about the action of IPAJ. Now I'm gonna move to the master in actual science. So we start this program in autumn 2018. Um, the program content is based on the actual syllabus of IAA, and this program includes also specific topics um, from the CIMA, knowing that we are in the CIMA zone with the CIMA regulation. I use a national lecturer for the general topics and specific subjects for the foreigners, overseas lecturers for the special subjects. You will see it on the next slide. The courses are provided in French and in English. We also have, as I say, students from the CIMA zone, and the graduate student, they graduate just in October 2021 because of the COVID. Now you can see that we had many visiting teachers like Luzani in December 2018. Luzani came in Senegal for 2 weeks and it did the financial mathematics course for the first year of actual science program. It was really, interesting for the students because they did not know anything about IIA, SOA, IFOA, the exams. So Luzani was a gift, I can say a gift of God. Yeah, because he helped me a lot to convince my students to think about the exams, to know what's going on in America, in Nigeria, in Kenya, because in the French-speaking countries, they don't know anything about association. So the second teacher was Dr. Jose Lopez Barrientos from Mexico, from the University of Anahuac, and he did the stochastic course, and also the actual modeling course. It was also a good thing to have him because Jose Daniel is specialized on the stochastic calculation for oil and gas in Mexico. And during his presentation, we invite the regulators in the classroom to see how he models and how he is doing his modeling. It was very interesting for the regulators in Senegal because they did not know that actuaries can do that. It was very, very interesting. This is, I think that from SOA knows him, Professor Jed Fries. He came in September to do the survival models for the second year of master. So it was so really, really interesting for the students because has many books talking about survival models. And they were really, really happy to have. Last but not least, we had Monata, the CEO of Expert du Monde, came for the first micro insurance, also the actuarial communication development. She did the course with the students. Was also monitoring students for their master thesis. We did some webinar, but this webinar is addressed to the professionals in the CIMA zone. These webinars are organized online, and regulators, supervisors, actuaries, insurance, and bankers are allowed to come and listen this is also a great opportunity for EPAGE and for the association to show what they are doing, to show how they are using their models, how they are improving um, their work in their country. So it was really interesting to have IFOA Irene during our door opening. And also we organized a webinar on and the average of participation is around 100. So 100 people are participating in our webinar. Quite interesting. The last one we did was with Belgium actuaire, Philippe Longville, and he talked about the role of actuary in the society. It was also really interesting for the regulators and for the supervisors. Okay, this year my job is to find, as you can say, partners, because I can't not do all the job by myself. I need people to help, people to teach, people to monitor, people to show the reality to my students. Reason why in last November, I had an agreement with l'École d'ingénieurs Léonard de Vinci, based in Paris for the actual science program. And 2 months ago, I had a partnership with the third private university of Mexico, Universidad of Anahuac, for the program, cooperation, students, teachers. So in September, I will be sending 2 students in Mexico and 1 student in France. I will also receive Mexican students. So if you guys also are interested about sending me your students or having my students, here for you. This is our partners, that's the insurance companies we have in Senegal. We also have brokers, so they used to hire our students. We work also on the continuous development program for insurance with them. So I used to organize twice a year, or depends on the period, seminars for the insurer or for the actuaries that are in those companies. Yes, last. Any question and suggestion, I'm here for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Kanji. We'll move straight to ASG, and after that, we'll bring up the questions. So, can we get a slide for ASG? And make it snappy.
Mine is more of a document over the last 2-3 years for flagship program for graduate actuarial training program. So I'll come back to speaking to the topic that is for transition students to practice. We realized that we're turning out a lot of students who didn't have the skill, which is the supply side from university. The demand side was also the fact that companies needed people who were fit for it. So the question was, how do we go about it? And in trying to go around it, came up with the graduate actuarial training program, which we started in 2018, but it actually peaked in 2020, because then the companies had seen the value that we're bringing on board with this program. So that was the basis for starting the graduate actuarial training program. So basically, the Graduate Actuarial Training Program is a program that is an initiative of ASG where we bring students to practice right from school. Fortunately for us in Ghana, we have what we call the National Service, which is mandated by the government for every student completing a university degree to undergo that program for a year before you can actually be employed in most cases. So we pitched the idea to insurance companies, telcos, everywhere that the actuarial skill set is relevant. So we pitched to a number of them, and they bought in the idea. Go to the next slide. Go. Okay, right, come back. Yeah. Let me go through the goals. So one of the goals that we wanted to achieve with this was to identify talents, actuarial talents in our industry. A lot of people or students are taking out the actuarial program, but the real talent we felt were just few, because at the end of the day, when it comes to examination, and for us at ASG and as a profession, we are looking at driving the profession and not just churning out graduates. So we needed to pick out those that were smart enough to go through the examination and then to also have some form of skill and practice. So we needed to identify these people in order to drive them, because one of the challenges we had was the fact that they didn't have the skill. Then the other one was also that we wanted to bridge the industry gap, bring industry together with academia, sort of create that enabling environment where they can easily transition from school to. We also wanted to encourage students, graduates, and members to sit for the professional exams, like I mentioned. It is key to us, for us, because our objective is to drive the profession. Go to the next slide. So the main features of the program was that it was over a duration of 1 year, which is the national service. Then the other thing we talked about, we do, is that it goes through a rigorous process for selection. So we have about 6 universities running actuarial science in Ghana, and we wanted to make sure that the people that we're bringing on board for this, because our reputation was at stake, we had gone to negotiate for slots for the national service in the companies that were bringing fit-for-purpose candidates. And so we needed to go through a rigorous process of selection before we take on these students. So the selection process is very, very rigorous. You go through an interview, and then we also make sure you go through training, which I will talk about very soon. And it's always, we also want to ensure that you have picked up the basics from school in terms of our programming and our Excel, VBA, before we even enroll you. Because we need a mindset to be able to push you to where exactly we want you to be. So the Excel Adapt program, which is one of the main things we are doing. So when after the selection process, when we have selected the people that we are placing in different companies, we go through a 1 month. It used to be 6 weeks, but now we've reduced it to 1 month because it's difficult to get facilitators. So we go through a 1 month full training. So it's a full day session where they come in from Monday through Friday, and they are trained on Excel. And now we've added Python as well. So we bring people from life. The first week is usually normal Excel, formulas, shortcuts, and other things that entry-level staff need to have. Then the second week is we do 3 days of each practice area. We bring somebody from life. We take them through life examples, life insurance examples, and they actually model. So then we do non-life, we do pensions, we do data analytics, then actuarial modeling. And it's been so successful because we keep expanding and the numbers are growing for us. The other thing is our evaluation process. We realize that placing the students was not the only thing we needed. But then at every point in time, we need to evaluate the program and see if we are actually achieving our goals. So what we do is that we actually engage, when we post them to the companies, we engage the senior people there as mentors for them. And so we constantly, over a quarter, we engage them to see how they are faring. Because for us, one of the things we are considering is our reputation. We do not want to put anybody we have not trained properly to fit into any positions. And now I can emphatically state that we are the first resource for every insurance company when they need staff. I receive emails almost every, especially when it's a season for posting national service. Everybody needs somebody from ASG because they do not need to train them again. We take them through that 1 month before they are actually posted. So they go, there was one case with Enterprise Life where the actuarial assistant had left to school in the US, like at a time that they were doing valuations. And they needed someone, an easy fit, to be able to work on their data and other things for them. And we posted a lady. She was awarded best student in the exam, actually. So we posted her there, and then within a space of 3 months, 4 months, the lady was able to do everything that was assigned without coaching. So they came back to us and gave us more slots for subsequent years. And we have signed a series of MOUs, even with non-traditional practice areas like Vodafone. So we have an MOU with Vodafone where we provide 5 graduates every year for their data science department. We are still trying to engage MTN and Airtel Tigo as well to make them see the value. And that is one of the reasons why they are sponsoring this conference. Because of that partnership we have established with them, we are always feeding them. And our people, the people we post there have done tremendously well. Most of them are absorbed. Most of them are absorbed. We have about 90% rate of absorption. So for us, it's a big thing, and it's gaining grounds. Now, the regulator, the pensions regulator, has expressed interest. In fact, we didn't go after describing and explaining a couple of things in last year's convention. They came up to say they want to partner us because every year they get people for the national service, and they want people we have trained. So that is another success we've talked. Yeah. So go to the next slide. So benefits of the graduate actuarial training program to the students is that they get used to the actuarial environment and they appreciate the program better after studying the plenty mathematics, the survival models, and if you don't get to practice, it becomes a bit abstract. And you don't appreciate the course you did, the program you did in school. So it's one of the ways that students are able to appreciate the actuarial program. Again, we help students build their confidence. Because during the 1-month training process, it's very rigorous. And you can't come to the program without a laptop. And it's a full day from 8 to 4. Where we used to give them some packages after it, but then we've gone past that. So we build their confidence. So any beneficiary or trainee of graduate actuarial training program can confidently do some sort of entry-level work that you give to them without fears. Again, companies are getting the skill that they need. And that is accounting for the retention levels that we are having now. Now what we look for in students, and this time around it's very competitive. When around this time, that is when applications start. Originally, by 1st July, applications we are open for application. They start to open in. But this is what we try to push to the students. And one of them is to be registered as student members right after school. That is not compulsory anyway. But we try to push them because at the end of the day, we are also giving you leverage into the market. And the other thing we do is that you must have passed at least an exam. And that is where the challenge is. So people are now eager to sit for the actuarial exam because of this. Because she knows that after one paper, he or she is guaranteed placement. Because we have a challenge with postings in terms of the national service. If the government is posting you, you can end up in the north in a school teaching something else. But everybody really wants to have that experience. So they are forced to write an exam. And so this is our main driving force. That is why students in Ghana are sort of forced or are bent on taking exams. And then we are also creating the enabling environment for them to write this exam by sponsoring them every year. And that is on another project altogether. It's on the what we call ASET, Actuarial Support Eligibility Test. Yeah. Okay, so a few of the people, this is an old document. So all these people have passed actuarial exams before they were taken on and placed. A number of them are with the Vodafone project, some with Ghana Re, some with IAO, some with... Now we have a lot of the companies. The struggle is the exam pass. In the last year, we have tried to make it a bit flexible. So what we do is to assess your, if you want, your interest in taking the professional exam. So that if we don't meet, because we do not want to, at any point in time, not send students to these partners that we have signed MOU with. And so we try to assess their interest in taking the exam. And that is one of the key things we do. And that is the reason why we organize the rigorous selection process and the interview in the first place. Because we need to be sure that you actually have an objective of following through to qualification. If even not to the end, you go to an extent. So that is one of the key things we are doing. Move to
2 minutes.
Yes. So a few of the companies we have partnership with is My Life, Enterprise Life, Vodafone, IO, Ghana Re, Saham, and a couple of them. Now NPRA is coming on board. So we are growing. And some of them are giving us huge slots. Some give us 3, some give us 4. So every year we are training about 20, 25 people with skill to be able to fit into the market. Now the challenge we have is that we're having a lot of applications. So we are trying to sort of scale it up to an online version so that if you don't get placement with this, we still give you some 3 to 6 months training online. And I have been engaging some of the associations, and even today I spoke to a few of them, SOA and the other guys, on what the agenda is. Because we realize the skill is the problem. The talent and the intellect to write exam is there. So you only need to provide the candidate with the skill that is needed to. The next phase of it is that we are trying to enter into the banking sector, because one of our key objectives is to prove to the banking space that the actuarial skill set is relevant for that space as well. And so we are engaging a couple of the banks to feature them with graduates for next national service year. I think that would be all for now. Yeah. We'll now.
At this point, we'll take some few questions, and then we'll move straight into the forum. We are far behind time, and so I'll take just 2.
Hello, thank you very much to both of you. It was a very informative session. Mark, for you, I think on behalf of other local societies that might be interested in doing something similar or copying this, is how do you find all of these trainers to do the training, and do they volunteer their time, or how do you fund this kind of activity? Because 1 month of intensive training is pretty amazing, you know.
Yeah, thank you for that question, Irene. From the beginning, it was a bit difficult, it's very difficult to get professionals to spare some time out of their busy schedules to come and train. But then we shared with them the vision, what the vision was, what the whole intention was. And then we pleaded with them that this is a support to ASG and to the actuarial profession. And some of them were glad to help completely on voluntary basis. The only thing we provide is that we give them stipend for transportation, sort of fuel. That is the only thing we provide. During the program, we also serve lunch, so that is catered for. It's part of the program, but essentially we only provide stipend for transportation. That is all we do, and so it's voluntary basis, and it's the willingness of our people to help. So we engage them, we share the vision with them, and the fact that we want to expand the actuarial profession in the market. It's I feel that if the employer would know the value of actuaries, they would need to engage them. But the numbers in the market are too small to actually feel the value of the actuary or the actuarial professional, or if you want a student. So the objective is to send as many as we can into the market. I took some experience from some years ago when students offering business administration was a top of town. And then every company needed someone that had read business administration. So the import of that was to say that we want to get to a point where the first point of call for any student or graduate should be an actuarial science graduate. And to add to that, one of the spaces we are entering is software development and data science. We are trying to encourage strongly. Some of the consultants that are running software development, we are taking them there, and trust me, they are making more impact than even people who studied computer science in school. So for us, it tells us that the actuarial student is versatile. All you need to do is to explain this vision and objective to them, and those that are willing will obviously join. So that is what we have actually done to get them on board. Thank you. Rather a long answer to a short question.
Okay. Thank you, the two speakers. So I have one question each for each one of you. For the lady from Ghana, Senegal. Senegal is a francophone country, and you said you'll be willing a kind of collaboration or exchange programs with other partners and the likes. I would like to ask how someone like me from an Anglophone country will be able to fit in maybe to come and do, because I believe your student might not be able to understand what I'm talking about. That's on that. Concerning my other you said that I really appreciate what you are doing concerning how training the student, at least intensive training. But in addition to what we do at the level of our MSc postgraduate programs, not intensive the way you do it, is that at the end of every month, that's our own side, we do bring people, the same set of people you are referring to, but not for specific students, for all the students in our class. So the practical experience, you teach them for 3 weeks, I think in a month. The 4th week, a guy on different kind of what is happening. But for all the class, that's what we are engaging in. So just in addition to say, okay, fine, maybe because it's a very good one, you've selected them, you know where they can fit in. But what I'm able to take home is that how we can now collaborate with in this industry to say, okay, fine, to give them kind of placement. So I really appreciate that, and then I take that home. Thank you.
Hi, so name is Mlenga Mtati. I'm the president of the Actuarial Society of Zambia. It's a question to Mark, basically. I wanted to find out, so when going to market or partnering with these institutions, in the first instance, do you just provide the students there for free? Because what we see in the Zambian market, no one really wants to take a chance and add an expense to their P&L if they're not really sure what value actuaries bring. That's one area. And your intense courses, is there a possibility to do it virtually as well, so we can get some of our students and our members actually joining in?
Thank you, sir, for the question. You saw that I had a partnership with a Mexican university, so they are speaking Spanish. So I think that if I have a partnership with a Spanish-speaking country, of course, I can have a partnership with English-speaking countries. They are trained in English. They just passed yesterday. They had a B2 level test in English. All the three students, they have the average, and they all get their certificate. So I think that you can monitor them, and you can also, if you are interested, give courses to them, because they have a strong background in English. It's not easy, that's right, to learn from one language to another, but they have to mix it if they want to do the exams or if they want to travel. Thank you.
So to the first take home, I would say that, your module is fantastic because you are doing it for all your students, which is great. But we have the challenge of the numbers coming from the universities. It's very huge. 6 universities, bringing out lots of students. And normally, as at now, we have about 22 slots or so. I think the coming into being of the NPRA partnership would increase it depending on the number of slots they give us. So we are not able to do it for that huge number of people. And that is the reason why we are running the selection process module. And it also helps us. When I go around the universities, I tell the students that not everybody would be an actuary. It's the sad truth. But if you really want to be an actuary starts from now. So you have to get busy and serious right from school. That is one of the things I have consistently tried to drive into the minds of these students, so that right from school you start gearing up yourself for what is ahead. Because we are bent on maintaining our integrity and the quality that we have actually started with. We do not want to, at any point in time, compromise for any reason. Because the objective is to get to a point where the actuarial skill set is the most demanded skills in our market at entry level. And I think it will grow through in future. The next one is on Mulenga's question, and that is on as to whether we are offering it for free. Our national service requirement from the government requires that you actually pay the people some stipend. I think in Nigeria they have a similar model, NYSC or something, yes. So you pay some sort of stipend. But the good thing is that for all the companies that we are partnering with, they pay more. Some pay twice as much. And that is the reason why we are having the students having to come for this. Like, they would have to learn by all means to pass an exam and be guaranteed. Because we ensure that once you have passed an exam, you are guaranteed. If you have not passed, we have to examine your interest in the profession as to whether you really want to go far with it or you just want to get on the program. So it's not for free. Most of these companies pay twice as much, so it's really helpful. In terms of the online version, that's the next step. And because the numbers that are applying every year is growing. And actuarial students are also growing. So we want to absorb a number of them. And that is the reason why we want to partner the big guys like ASA, like IFOA, like CAS, and SOE to do this. We want to establish some sort of an online training platform, and so that we can actually get a lot of students. And we are happy to extend it to any country. Even for the trading, it's just financial commitment. Once we get to the point where we are able to stream it live from our secretariat, where we have a training room where we usually hold a training, we should be able to, because the world today is technology. And that was the reason why I was happy about Mia's presentation on creating that platform for actuarial exam and all that. Yeah, so thank you.
Yes. Shall we give a round of applause to... just to add to Mark's presentation, ASG is dealing with reputational risk. So we can't just throw anybody out there through our doors and say that they are coming from ASG. So quality is very, very important to us, and integrity. So it's something we are seriously looking at it. And then trying to train more, it's fine. We can extend. But those that will send to the organizations, we need to test and know that these are quality. Because we are building a name for ASG and the actuarial profession in Ghana. The insurance guys, the fellowship guys have hijacked the insurance industry. And it's a political theft. So you can know that you have to prove that you are better than the others. And that's what we are doing. So once again, let's give it to Mark and his team. We know you have more questions, but we will move into the forum, open forum, and we have a set of new panelists, and your time is expired. Please, can you leave us peacefully? Our final session is an open forum, and we invite the following to just come and take your seat. Roseanne, shall we welcome Roseanne, please? We have Mike Techeriva from South Africa. You guys, if you had not added the Zimbabwe, I would have said something. And then we have John Robinson, our brother from the North America. He visited us, and you can see the sash showing that he's from Ghana. And then we have Irene Redman. Okay. Okay, substitution, eh? And then Yvonne. Okay, Yvonne. Can you, Yvonne from CAS? Yes, he's bringing a chair for you. The last one. Yeah, yeah. No, bring the last seat. I'm going to stand and help you guys do the job. Yes. Optimization. So, yeah. No. Come forward a little. I'm pretty close. Yeah. Okay. You're fine. We don't want you to be too relaxed, so you go back. Yes, no insurance has covered you. So, yes, they're going to discuss the African actuarial teachers' concerns. So we're going to throw to the audience for them to throw their concerns. And we have capable panelists here who will give us the answers. So the forum is open. If you want to ask a question, you just raise your hand, and then we give you the mic. It cuts across. So, teachers' concerns.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I want to say it's been a very educative and inspiring day for me. My name is Yeside Oyetayo. I'm director of the College of Insurance and Financial Management in Nigeria. I'm probably the only one here who's not an actuary, but loves the works of actuaries. Okay, so this is my point here. I remembered like some 4 or 5 years back, I realized that we had the dearth of actuarial skills in Nigeria, and I reached out to a lot of people, including Actuaries Without Borders and some volunteers there, and I was told that actuarial development cannot be done by a college, that we have to get the buy-in of the regulator, the practitioners, the association, and all that. So we started pushing, and we wrote, and we didn't get any headway. We were lucky to get some courses, some short courses from AWB as Actuaries Without Borders. So after a while, the regulator finally bought into some of the ideas that we had proposed. So we said, okay, fine, we don't have that many actuaries, but we can start with the Certified Actuarial Analyst program. So at least to identify possibly those that will go forward and write actuarial exams. So we were so fortunate that our regulator, NICOM, decided to sponsor students for that particular program, which unfortunately is going to wind up next year. So what we have found is that, and when I was listening to the last speaker from Ghana, I found out that they had survived because there was like a collaboration, the association, the market, they all agreed, you know, because even with the CAA, when we started it, the market were not really in support of it. They just felt it was something that we wanted to do. I thought it was a good step in the right direction. Unfortunately, that has not happened now. Now, the problem I have found is, one, inability of the stakeholders to agree, because actuarial development is a big thing. Two, lack of facilitators, because even on that CA scholarship program, we struggle to get facilitators to even tutor the students and prepare them for exams, because the ones we find locally are always busy with work, actuarial work, and even our students that are passing, the moment they pass some kind of exam, they give them more responsibilities. So I am happy that at this today we had agreed that we're going to share knowledge, we're going to collaborate, we're going to set up a platform. I want us to put concrete plans to ensuring that we have this developmental program that we can all leverage on. I know Ghana is doing a lot of things, and I want to hear from other clients, aside those that have spoken, how were they able to develop actuarial skills? And by that I mean people that had either the associateship or the fellow of the two training institutions that we have here. And then from high FOA, I think you're represented here. What's the way forward, you know, in terms of, because I know education seems to be the focus for these groups now. We need concrete plans. It's good that we are having this kind of conference, but also we need support from these examining bodies to ensure that we can achieve that which we have set out to achieve. Thank you very much.
That we can move on to other. Do you have any comments from any of you on what you have said? It's just a contribution. I could take it from that end. But if you have something to add or say, then okay.
Thank you so much for that input, because I think it reflects the kind of challenge that we have, is that I think a lot of countries here in Africa have a shortage of actuarial skills. We're trying to develop the actuarial skills, but those who are in the position to pass on the information are so busy because of the shortage that you can't solve the problem. And certainly I think that is quite a challenge across Africa. And it does strike me that maybe at a higher level, and I mean we have this problem in South Africa as well, that you know, many of our actuaries are leaving, are going to other markets, and we need to ensure that as an industry we're creating a climate that is stimulating, and that people see that career progression, so that they, you know, that they stay in and that they get the opportunity to give back. Because I think most actuaries, certainly that I engage with, want to give back, and it is a case of creating the space and the opportunity to do so, and the sort of fostering environment, enabling environment.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to add, I mean, completely agree, shortage of skills, you know, in the Nigerian market where we are very few actuaries that are qualified, very few actuaries that have the experience. But what I did want to add is that the good thing about actuarial skills is that they're transferable to any country, right? So I think that we shouldn't just be relying on, although it would be nice, we shouldn't just be relying on the few actuaries that are on the ground, because the fact of the matter is they're not enough and they're not going to meet the need. But we, you know, all the actuarial organizations represented here, including the CAS, and I've been trying to work on this as well, is we should try and make sure that we are getting actuaries from you know, from abroad to come and train as well. That can be done, and again, COVID has helped with that. And I think there are a few representatives here from IABA as well, you know, that, you know, maybe that's the best place to start as well, International Association of Black Actuaries, trying to make sure that we're, because ideally, I believe it would be great to have actuaries who can relate to the actuaries on the ground, you know, so people who maybe are from here, have moved abroad, whatever. I think it would be great to start there, but it doesn't have to just be those people. It can be anyone. Actuarial skills are transferable. So I think what we need to do is draw on the pool of resources from, you know, the global pool, not just the local pool.
Yeah, thank you. Look, the issues you have raised are issues that have been there for a very long time. The lack of progress in actuarial development on the African continent. Now, as I speak, I happen to be one of those people who is passionate about getting more actuarial skills developed. And I happen to have been given a role last year, I think in around June 2021, to see what can be done on the African continent from a public interest perspective in terms of developing actuarial skills. So the issues you have said are not unique to Nigeria. So there are a few things that need to happen. There need to be strong collaboration between the local associations. Let's say if we talk of Ghana, that's the Actuarial Society of Ghana, and the universities. And in that, the people you have there are quite important. How passionate are they? Are they actually passionate to push a certain agenda to get things done? So you said you spend a lot of time trying to do A, B, C, D, E. Okay, as I sit here, we spend about 6-7 years debating banking, and now banking is a practice area around the world. We faced those problems, but there were people who were passionate and willing, and leadership that was passionate and willing, and we did it. So the same as other actuarial associations are on the continent. There has to be strong collaboration between the association and the universities. Then there is another element which I think has made South Africa, the profession in South Africa work very well with universities. The industry need to realize that these things need to be funded, right? They need to be funded. So even if you don't have passion, but when there is money on the table, you're likely to run around. So that is just a fact, because we rely on volunteers a lot, right? But if people are paid, so the South African experience has been that there's been an actuarial development trust, another trust, and that then supplements lecturer salaries and a whole lot of things. So there's been a lot of collaboration between the profession and universities. And you find that whatever training that happens in South Africa, the university is the base. And even the Education Board of the Actuarial side of South Africa has both academics and non-academic people practicing with passion to get it done. Look, don't ever underestimate the need for the right people with passion. You just have to have passion. So all these challenges are there. They will always be there. But what are we doing? So for me, as I sit, I think a lot of you have spoken to, be it Zambia, Ghana, Nigeria. I'm still waiting for you to come back. Actually, I came to them and they never responded. So there might not be passion there. But I've been around trying to discuss, to say, what can we do? How do we accredit universities? How do we do A, B, C, D? Let's talk. Let me share with you my views. And that's what we have been doing. So keep pushing. The answer is keep pushing. There's no straight answer. Keep pushing. Engage the industry. The leaders who are saying, I'm president of this, I'm president of that society. You can't just be a ceremonial president. Go out there in the industry, talk to people, because when you are president, what are you president for? Thank you.
Is that okay? Yeah, okay. You want to add? Okay. Aha. There's a question back there.
Hello, my name is Diana. I'm actually a student in my final year in actuarial science, and I just wanted to ask or add, when I started in level 100 with actuarial science, I was actually just doing it to understand what business was all about with this math and statistics. I didn't really know actuarial was a whole profession on its own and really huge. So as I got interested, I was interested in doing casual and properties, because everyone was moving to life. And one thing I was told by most of my graduates was, oh, insurance is where you end up. Once you're done with actuarial science, you just end up in insurance. So I was like, okay, fine. I'm going to do insurance. So I've actually taken some of my insurance professionals, and they're like, oh, she's really good, because she studied actuarial science. They're really smart. So they're trying to pull me to just charter in insurance and stay there. And then maybe the finance people are like, oh, you can actually do financial risk management, and they're all trying to pull us. But with the actuarial society, I don't really see anybody trying to tell me, oh, you can do it, like, we can help you, we can teach you, or there are other people there doing it. And even with these NSS programs, like when you ask people, oh, what do you do in your actuary department? They're kind of new. They just set them up. We are only 2 in the office, so if you finish, you might not even get like a job. And then all of us just like, okay, so we are like 100 and something, and there are only 2 slots, so let me just go out of the country instead. But then in actual fact, like Africa actually needs actuaries. So what are you guys doing to promote awareness? Because I feel like if I knew there was something better for me after my course as an actuarial science student, I could have probably written some of the actuary professional exams and probably made headway. But then because I felt there was no hope with actuarial science, I just branched to insurance, right? So that's just like one of my submissions, that you guys should just try and like make it more aware to Africans, because you're all saying there's shortage, but actually that's not the situation. We go to school and our teachers kind of like tell us, oh, if you go further in actuarial science, you're probably just going to end up like teachers like us. And with Ghana, there's like strike and payment issues, like they don't pay as well. It's not really nice. I want to go back to like my job. And a lot of them are like, you can do part-time lecturing and, you know, yeah. So can you please like just maybe give us platforms or anything so I could also tell my friends so they could know that there's a future for us actuarial science students. Thank you. University of Ghana, Lagos.
This is from a student's perspective. And that's why I asked the school. Later on, I think we would like Mark, because this is in our domain, and tell her a few things that have been put in place. But University of Ghana was actually doing more of statistics. And so actuarial science has been rebirthed in the place. So maybe that's why. And to share a few secrets, her father is my old schoolmate, and saw the flyer and paid for her to be here. So I can understand. I can understand from her perspective. But we've been doing a lot with the schools, especially the University of Science and Technology, that is Kwame Nkrumah, yeah, and UDS. For UPSA, they are one of our babies. So there's a lot coming up, but I'll give it to Mark because of you, and then we'll come to the next question. Short, please.
The challenge we have with University of Ghana is that, like my president said, they are actually operating under what they call statistics and actuarial students, and the statistics guys tend to overshadow the actuarial guys a lot because they've been primarily statistics sort of thing. And so when they are even organizing programs, it's even an issue as to whether to invite a statistician or an actuary to come into the space. We have a recent one that is pending where they think their association's program, national, they have every year, they have a program they do, and they think it's going to be 2 actuarial. One sect thinks it's going to be 2 actuarial. One sect thinks it has to be data science and statistics. There's that conflict there, and it's always difficult to resolve it. So we are still trying to get through with that. Nonetheless, you could still come to us if you knew ASG, which if you are in final year, you should have seen me. I do university tours every year. I make sure I am on every university grounds. It means probably when I came around, you were somewhere doing something else. So you may have to attend the UGAS, right? You call it UGAS. Yes, Statistics and Actuarial Science Club or something. Yeah.
Before you come, let me see whether the panelists have something. You have? Yes. Before we come to the mass.
In response to your question, I'll probably answer it this way. If you're thinking of the actuarial profession as actually becoming an actuary, the model where it has been successful, in the countries where it has been successful, you have to be employed as an actuary, and your employer has to provide the necessary support and inputs for you to pass the exams and make a decent living out of it. So that is the secret to the success of, the other thing I will add is that in countries where the actuarial profession has flourished, there's generally a legal requirement to have actuaries and to have senior actuaries. So there are roles like appointed actuary, things like that, which the law requires. And so to the extent that that is absent in any country, not just Africa, it makes it difficult. So in a narrow sense of being an actuary, that I think is what it's going to take. Now, what the Actuarial Society of Ghana seems to be doing is trying to say, you know, there are certain skills that an actuary acquires from university or whatever that can be applied at a somewhat lower level to the economy, and it's very valuable to be able to do so. So I think the challenge for you is to find a way, depending on what you want to do, to either go the skills route or to try and find an employer that's willing to take on the burden of raising you up to be an actuary.
That's why I said earlier that the insurers have always been trying to hijack the young actuaries. Come, then who else? You, and then we'll go there.
Yes, I was actually going to say a bit of what Robinson, yes, I actually said. Because it's very true that people come out from the university in Ghana here, and then they are not able to find jobs in actuarial fields. So most of them do other things. Instead of continuing with the actuarial program, they branch into other areas. It's a problem. I can even tell you, we've got, since I joined University of Professional Studies, I think we've got 2 sets of graduates. And the first one, out of about 18, only 2 people got job after graduation. Some of them, as I'm speaking now, are still sitting at home. Meanwhile, how can you tell people that actuarial is in demand, and then they go and do, and then when they come, they don't get the jobs? You see? Well, I think there's a good thing that NIC is trying to do. It's trying to say that, look, any company, the problem we have in Ghana here is most of the actuarial work is done by people outside the country, right? From South Africa in particular, UK, and America. So instead of companies training people here in Ghana to make sure that they can have people to do the work, they rather go and do that thing. So NIC is now trying to say that, look, before you do any actuarial work here, you should try and have a unit here. And I think that's a good thing. If they have managed to do that, then companies will be forced to train, take people, train them, and then make sure that they can. They may come, and they're not going to get the support. And actuarial exams, everybody knows that it's difficult. Probably sometimes you have to do it about 2-3 times. And it's not cheap. Yeah, it's very expensive. So how can students do these things if they are not getting support from the companies that they are working for? So that is an issue that, the executives of, or the whole of the Actuarial Society need to try and make employers aware of this and push it so that they at least come to fund the student to do actuarial courses and use them instead of getting people outside to do the work for them. Thank you.
Very brief, very brief. We are behind time.
I'm Samuel from Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. To add, Prudential Life, for instance, has been very helpful to our graduates. For the past 5 years, they have been sponsoring the best 5 students with an amount of 500 USD, equivalent in Ghana cedis, and also they sponsor them to write 2 papers, 2 professional papers, each of the 5 students. So I just wanted to bring it out to also alert members that there are certain entities in Ghana that are helping our students. And as such, we need more of these entities to help our students so that they will know the importance of being an actuary and being an actuary student. Yes, thank you.
Very brief indeed. I just wanted to quickly just mention one case study, Zimbabwe, where I started my actuarial career. The intervention and knowledge of the actuarial profession actually starts immediately after high school, because one of the big corporates sponsors a mathematics Olympiad competition for A-levels. And as part of that mathematics Olympiad, if you win, if the top students are offered an actuarial scholarship, so by the time everyone finishes their A-levels, they actually know that they want